Hey, we're into the third week of June. We got most of the important stuff out already for the month with the non-farm payroll, CPI number, PPI number, and the Fed meeting. So for the rest of the month, should be plain sailing. Gold has been actually quite good to us. It's not the kind of pattern that I like to trade, this sideways thing. I moan about them every week. Don't like it. This is the hourly chart for gold. But we have been selling it at the resistance level and it has worked. So I'm just going to stick with that strategy until we have a breakout. There is no sign of a breakout at the moment. So right now I'm sticking with the sideways trend. I've been desperately looking for a trend in silver, but we're just not getting it. Every time it looks like we have a breakout, we go straight back into the sideways range. I'm just going to show you on the daily chart what I mean. Longer term, you could say we have a bull trend, but obviously if you've been holding a long position in silver, I'm pretty sure you'd have been stopped out with all these deep moves back. And here, I just don't know what to make of it. Even the moving averages on the daily chart are flatlining. Right now, I don't see any opportunities. I'm also finding WTI a struggle. I know not that many of you that follow me trade WTI crude, but there's been long periods of sideways action. When I go to the 1 hour chart, which is really what I'm focusing on right now because it's so difficult to find a trend, I think you'll agree that this is just a mess. And as far as I'm concerned, it's untradeable. It's actually been a good month so far trading currencies. I can't say it's been easy, especially when you look at the dollar index chart. You can see that we have been in a sideways trend since November. The last time we ran up, we didn't even test the upper parameter of that sideways channel. So it's not easy to identify trading opportunities on a daily basis. But somehow or other, I seem to be able to manage to find some profitable trading opportunities here and there. Dollar index, well, I'm sticking with a bear trend in the short term. So I would be selling into resistance levels, as you know, if you're a subscriber. The Aussie dollar has got a nice short-term bull trend for me to rely on and look for support levels to buy into. So as you know, I've got those buy levels on the trade sheet. Again, when you go to the daily chart, it's just a confusing mess. We were in this channel, looked like we'd broken to the downside. I got excited because I thought we were going to have a swing trade opportunity, and then we just broke straight back up. Look at it, just roared up, so many green days, and then broke above the upper channel trend line. We've stopped at the 61.8% fib, but I don't think that's particularly relevant. Well, I should have sold at that level, but it's not a strong enough area for me to have wanted to risk a short. So you could say I'm wrong, but right now I'm just going to stick with a short-term bull trend and look to buy into support levels. New Zealand dollar, again, on the longer term daily chart, well, moving averages are flatlining, so that really just tells you everything, doesn't it? There is no trend to follow, and I'm primarily a trend-following trader, and therefore I'm sticking with the bull trend in the short term. It's just through June. We've got a 3-week bull trend in the Aussie versus the US dollar, so I'm going to see if we do hold the support levels that I've got on the report. Dollar Swiss in a bear trend since November, so you know what I'm doing, selling into resistance levels. We did really nicely selling at this 23.6% fib, coupled with the 100-day moving average, and now we've got a trend line there as well. So those shorts were a real good trade, and that's why I've got sell levels on the trade sheet. Today's sell levels basically just come from my usual strategy of Fibonacci levels, trend lines, and moving averages. The moving averages haven't been much use on the dollar Swiss chart. Let's see if they are on the Canadian dollar versus Japanese yen. That's been in a really good bull run. We're going to look at some yen pairs now. The yen has absolutely collapsed recently. So if you've managed to get onto some of those long trades, you've done really well. I wasn't aggressive enough with this. With hindsight, of course, you could say, I should have been buying on every break above the previous high. So many currency pairs have been in sideways trends for so long, and I've been caught out on false breaks, like I just showed you in the Aussie versus the US. This caused me not to be as aggressive as I should have been in buying above previous highs on this bull trend. I was more focused on trying to buy into support levels on a pullback, and we didn't get enough of them. So in some respects, I've missed out on some of the great moves that we've seen in some of the currency pairs against the yen on this collapse, but we did catch 1 or 2 moves. For now, I'm going to stick with buying into support levels. We're critically overbought. Short term, long term, I wouldn't get into a short position. I think that's too risky, but I would use movements to the downside to ease overbought conditions to buy into long positions, because I just don't see any sell signal. I don't see this market reversing and wiping out all the recent gains. So for now, I'll buy into support levels and wait to see if we get some sort of negative pattern or sell signal, but we definitely don't have that at the moment. So for me, it's the same strategy of looking to buy into support levels for the Euro yen, the Aussie yen, the New Zealand dollar yen, all the yen pairs, and the US dollar yen as well. This is the Aussie yen, for example. Now, my buy level is quite a long way away. I've got much closer buy levels on some of the other yen pairs. But for example, this one, I don't have a buy level until we get to 95.90. And so we would have to drop over 100 pips before we get to the buy level. My dollar yen buy level is also about 100 pips lower. I think we could have a significant correction to the downside of 100 pips or so and hit my buy levels in these yen pairs. But I wouldn't be risking a short position into such a strong bull trend right now, praying that these overbought situations unwind a little bit. We see some traders, investors taking some profit on any short yen trades, bring those pairs back down to my buy levels, maybe around Tuesday or Wednesday, and give us an opportunity to jump into the bull trend. Some trends are developing in other pairs as well. So this is starting to look good. Maybe the second half of this year we'll have some decent trends to trade, and my job will be a lot easier in finding you some low risk trade opportunities. US dollar versus Canadian dollar. Well, we've certainly been in a bear trend now for the last month or so. Let's look at this on the hourly chart. Nice bear trend on the hourly chart with some pretty obvious sell levels on any bounce in the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar. So I've got a couple of levels on the trade ideas sheet at the moment. Moving away from both the dollar and the yen, I've got euro versus CAD. Now, I got quite lucky with this. We were selling around the 23.6% fib at 144.74. The 500-hour moving average also lending weight there. We overran it a bit, and it looks like we're going to retest that level. So we'll see what the reaction is and whether we break up and then maybe go for the best sell level for the euro versus the Canadian dollar at 145.80, 146.00. I was quite surprised to see cable burst higher. The pound versus the dollar rocketed through the 500-day moving average. That was around 126.47. So we're now more than 150 pips higher from there. We have a bull trend to trade. Again, I'm going to look to be buying into support levels. This could be the start of a decent moving cable. So the high was 128.48. We start breaking above 128.50, 128.55. Maybe you want to jump into a long position and see if we do get a move like we've seen in those yen pairs where cable jumps another couple of hundred pips. Stock markets, what can I say? It's relentless. We've had a phenomenal bull run since October. Once we broke through 42.20 in the E-mini S&P, that was my buy signal, and we've just gone up ever since. Nice little bull flag on the way, which is just perfectly normal bull trend, and then up, up, up. Maybe we'll start to form a bull flag again now because we are severely overbought on the daily chart, on the slow stochastic, and on the short-term charts as well, but no sell signal. I think a lot of you out there want me to tell you that the stock markets are about to crash. I know some people have been caught in some short positions. I certainly didn't tell anyone to get into short positions, but I think it's just been too tempting when you look at the fundamentals to be short. But these shorts have just been squeezed and squeezed and squeezed. And right now, I do not see any end to the short squeeze. I'm waiting for the sell signal, but it's just not there. And I'm not someone that's going to guess. I'll wait for the price action to give me a clue. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Please give me a like and keep an eye out for more videos during the week.